AJ Dybantsa is doing his vlog. Another episode is out, and we want to react to the latest episode. He captioned this 100 men versus gorilla, dot, 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 answering fan questions. This came out over the weekend. You claimed via text to me that you watched this 35 times
Yeah.
this weekend.
Yeah.
So you may be an AJ Dybantsa vlog expert. What were your favorite parts of AJ's latest behind the scenes look at BYU?
The 4 point line was my favorite part. I want to build a basketball court with that now. I like that he speaks about BYU through a lens that makes you want to play for BYU. And he's a guy that probably doesn't want to play college basketball. Like if we're if we're being completely honest, he chose the school he likes the most, but in reality, he'd probably prefer to be where Yaxel Lendenberg is, where he's just like choosing between NBA and college, and Dybantsa didn't have that choice. And but he speaks through BYU through a lens to where you can understand why he went there, right? He talks about BYU through an NBA lens. He speaks about the 4 point line. He speaks about being able to take a step into the NBA line. He speaks about the NBA line and, oh, I can take a rhythm step into the college line. And then I can take another rhythm step into the midi. And he shot maybe like 11 or 12 shots in this video, never touched the rim, by the way. Jumper smooth, jumper real smooth for AJ. He speaks about the weight room through a lens of like an NBA weight room. I mentioned to you offline. They eat NBA food. They work out like NBA players. They lift like NBA players. I assume they're going to watch tape like NBA players. Um, he spoke about class a little bit too. Probably don't need to do that anymore. Like, let's be real. We probably don't need, like, that was a charade. He mentioned, did love this. They said, what was your least favorite subject? He said math after it became useless. Y equals mx plus b. That was useless, AJ. I agree. Geometry was where I drew the line. They were talking about drawing stuff. I didn't even take art class. So when they're like, can you draw this triangle? I was like, no. So me and AJ locked in. There's a lot of useless math out there. But I thought overall it was an incredible vlog. It's clear there is some like production credit that BYU's getting. Like there's an element of like editing that I think BYU has in this where it's like you're here, we're paying you a lot of money. Let's use this as a selling point. And I thought they did a phenomenal job selling people on the school, on the campus. And he isn't necessarily selling people on AJ Dybantsa, the basketball player. He's selling them on AJ Dybantsa, the BYU basketball player.
So I have a little bit of a different take than you on this. Probably not surprising if you've watched my previous commentary on AJ. But before I get into it, I have a list of 5 moments that I enjoyed the most from this, and you'll get my general sentiment on this as well. I want to give my just bit of positivity before I get into it. This is really cool. It's really cool that we have a player as talented as AJ Dybantsa giving access through a lens of his own creation. I can't really recall this in my time being a fan of college basketball, certainly not in my time being a media person in college basketball. Like, when has this ever happened? When has a player as good as AJ Dybantsa been as online as AJ Dybantsa? Never is the answer. I've called him Gen Z Michael Jordan. That's probably not even like the appropriate comp at this point, but it's unprecedented to have a player that is as aware of fans and just young people be trying to tell the story of what it's like to be the number one player in the country going to play college basketball. That's going to be fun, and it's not going away unless things really go south for AJ or for BYU this season. Can't imagine this stuff goes away. Now, I will say last offseason, we have a little bit of precedent with this. Remember Walks with Brad Underwood, the
Yeah.
vlog?
Yeah, that was phenomenal, by the way.
He
That
had
was
a bunch of Balkan lottery picks in, and it was, we're going to do walks every week. It's behind the scenes with Brad Underwood. And then they lost a game, and we never saw that again. So I don't know if that's going to happen once we get to the season. But for now, I'm greatly enjoying the offseason content. Here's the one bit of pushback I'll give you before I get into my 5 favorite moments of this. You said you think this is doing a great job of showcasing like what it's like to be a BYU player or be at BYU. Am I paraphrasing that correctly?
Yeah, I think it that's why it won't end either, is I think it's very clear BYU's involved in the production of this.
Okay, I agree based on the production quality, totally agree. And look, the facilities look great. The coaching staff got a lot of shout outs in this video. It was very good. The only thing I would push back on, I don't think this video painted BYU, the institution, all that positively whatsoever. And I can add a little more commentary as I get to my five things I laughed about here. But like, just a general overall sentiment of this, every positive thing that AJ had to say about this place, the basketball program, the place, anything was NBA oriented. I mean, you could not possibly watch this 12-minute video and come away thinking like there's this uniqueness to BYU as a college that is awesome. And I think there is, by the way. But I think this video did a horrible job of presenting that. All we heard from AJ that he liked is NBA, 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 NBA. Like, I don't think that's fair to BYU, number one. Even if it's real, that might be 100% of why he's here. But, like, I guess I'd be a little careful with these vlogs, is what I'm saying, because these vlogs will help you get the next AJ Dybantsa. They might not help you get the next Richie Saunders. And you got to have both if you're BYU. AJ Dybantsa is a one of one, right?
Well, two things. One, if BYU wants some people to vlog and like kind of show the college aspect of BYU off, I know some dudes. You know what I mean? I know some guys we can get both popping. Second, um, I think Kevin Young, and I'm not saying this is best for BYU necessarily, but I think this is what Kevin Young wants. I think Kevin Young wants to treat BYU the way prep schools treat college.
Yeah.
You're not actually at my prep school because it's a high school. You're not actually at BYU because it's a college. We're preparing you for the NBA. So I think the vlog did exactly what BYU's basketball program wants, maybe not what the university wants, though.
I think you're completely right. I just find it tactically very interesting. Because if your goal is to get the next AJ Dybantsa, then this did a great job. If your goal is to get a bunch of guys worse than AJ Dybantsa that think they're AJ Dybantsa, this might have done a great job. If your goal is to get anybody who cares about your college in a way that isn't a 1 year stop to the NBA, I think this video did a horrible job. So, misread by me. Again, highly entertained by it, loved it. But I felt every little moment that was supposed to promote BYU, the place, basically fell really flat to me outside of this is getting me ready for the Toronto Raptors one day. Okay, I have five things that I made notes on that were hilariously entertaining, great moments in this video. The number one you already hit on and said was your favorite moment, the 4 point line.
Yeah, sick.
So
Sick.
this is just a visual thing from me. If someone's been in the BYU practice gym and has seen it and can tell us otherwise, please correct me in the comments. As far as I can tell, what AJ Dybantsa refers to as the 4 point line is just the NBA line. And then he goes, yeah, they even got the 4 point line, and then the college and the NBA line right inside of it. No, the 4 point line is the NBA line, and then the 3 point line is the college line. I don't think AJ's aware of that.
I kind of love it if he isn't, because now we're practicing the 4 pointer and it just becomes a smooth jumper in the league.
My interpretation is that AJ thinks the NBA line being a line in the BYU practice gym is like a creative 4 point line Kevin Young came up with, which is hilariously awesome. And also, by the way, no one on that BYU staff is ever going to correct AJ Dybantsa on anything.
No,
That
and
was
they should.
abundantly clear from this video. AJ could run around and like say the earth is flat, and BYU coaches would be like, "Oh, AJ, you're so right."
No, it's when Paul George and Kawhi said we don't want to ride the same bus as the rest of the Clippers players. We want SUVs. And Steve Ballmer was like, "Sure, I got you."
Yeah, right, 100%. Okay, my second favorite moment of this by far was going to class. So this is like a 12-minute long video, and you get 11 minutes into the video. There's 43 seconds left in the video, and we get a title card that flashes in. and says going to class. Like, okay, we waited until there were 30 seconds left to go to class. And then he promptly gets on the back of a golf cart. And then
Yeah,
the golf cart drops him off in an empty classroom where he walks into an empty classroom, daps up a presumed teacher or TA, and they
yeah,
talk about where he should sit
yeah,
in an empty classroom.
yeah,
And then the video ends.
yeah.
So the portrayal of going to class is that AJ gets wheeled to a room that he doesn't want to be in with no one in it for 10 seconds. I greatly enjoyed that.
Well, look, superstar. You know, what I mean, we can't just have him on campus without security. So we got to drive him everywhere, and then I'd assume he probably is in online classes and did the whole in-person thing as a charade for the video. I would assume, but I can't imagine someone as popular as AJ Dybantsa is actually sitting in a classroom. That feels like a safety concern.
Yeah, so this is where I come back to the thing I said about how like BYU might want to be a little careful. You didn't need to show this, right? You could have just ended the video at 11 minutes instead of showing an extra 30 seconds of AJ clearly not caring about class. Like that
Yeah,
was such an unserious 30-second ad to this. Why are we even trying to show that, you know?
yeah. I also don't understand for a guy that's so vocally said I'm a one and done. And like I don't even want to be the one. Like I'd rather just be done.
Yeah.
um, he doesn't need to go to summer classes. Like he
Well,
doesn't he doesn't need to take extra classes than necessary. Like he could just start school in the fall. I doubt he's living in a dorm, so it's not like he needs to like get like financial assistance. He probably paid for his own apartment with the NIL money, and he could just use the facilities to work out in. No one would stop him from doing that.
well, and if you want to actually portray or show AJ like, oh, he's serious, he's going to class, then much the way like when he went to BYU basketball games in the fall, he would sit in the student section. Show this man walking on campus, right? Like a normal human being doesn't get golf carted to an empty classroom when they go to class. They walk, they engage with the campus and the students. So if you were going to go the route of like, look, he's a student too, show that. Show a normal student behavior, not they're dragging me on this golf cart to this classroom. It just I don't know. It went against all of the community oriented things AJ Dybantsa has been doing to be like, and now we also go to class on our golf cart when no one's in class. Three more I like. This one goes along with the class point. One of his question and answers from the YouTube comments that he answered was, "What's your major?" Did you like his answer on what's your major?
He said he doesn't have one, right?
Yeah,
But
he
he
said,
couldn't choose
I don't really
one.
have one. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, but I'll probably be a business major. I'm worried about my business.
I think, yeah, didn't he? I think his first words were something like financial support. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't, I didn't know what that meant. Gonna be honest, AJ, a lot of people are gonna tell you you need to learn how to do finances. I'm here to tell you don't, big dog. So the ones that are telling you you need to learn how to do finances made a lot less. You're gonna have multiple three, $400 million contracts. You're good. Even if you lost $200 million, you'll still have like $1 billion. So I'm here to tell you you don't need to know how to do finances.
That's just Dion Consulting Services at its finest. That's why the Dybantsa family's always been honestly hanging up on your phone calls. But we yeah, I just again, if the goal of this vlog is to just portray this as totally unserious, it did a great job. Like what's your major? No idea. Like what do you think your major will be? Probably something with money. Like that's his answer, and he's totally entitled to doing that. But again, I there's just no seriousness to the student side of this whatsoever, and there shouldn't be. But we've never seen someone vlog it so blatantly until AJ Dybantsa, which makes it very funny to me. Speaking of that, one of the other questions was, "What's your favorite part about Provo?" Did you catch that answer?
Yeah, he said it's a college town and you see a Y everywhere you go.
Yeah, he said, "Oh, I love how much of a college town it is. There's Y's everywhere."
It's I don't think he went to Provo before this vlog was made. I think the whole time like he was going to games and stuff, I think a helicopter dropped him off on top of the roof and he just walked in the arena. I'm not sure he's ever walked around the city.
So I know that he went to like a North Carolina basketball game or Alabama, whatever one. I don't know that AJ Dybantsa has ever been on a college campus.
No,
I
no.
think he's looked like, yeah, dude, you got to see it. They got Y's. Like as if every college doesn't put their logo on the campus. He's like mystified by that. It's there, and there's a level of like endearing charm to it, right? He's still a kid that I think is like unfamiliar with all of this, but just a hilarious answer. What do you love about your new college town? There's the logo. Like,
I was gonna say my biggest takeaway from the video is that he's 18. And I feel like I certainly forget that a lot with the best players. Like I now I want to know what Cooper Flag was blown away by when he got to Duke. Like, yo, they had food in the dorms. Did you know
yeah,
did you know we share showers with like the rest of the floor too? And it's
yeah.
like it brings me back to my first days on a college campus where I was blown away that like my mom wasn't making me dinner for the first time. And like, you know what I mean? Like I was doing my own laundry and I was doing all these different things. Like, yo, I might have to do taxes one day. And now all this stuff that's like normal to me that I hate, I'm watching someone else like relive the process of learning like well, I guess he probably doesn't have to do his own laundry, but learn the process of like, wow, like when I go to the store, they might have like BYU logos places.
Yeah, I think there was in his head, he thought he might have gone to BYU and like there wasn't any BYU gear there. And now he's like, whoa, they have t-shirts. Like they're cool. And then lastly, which shouldn't have been last, this should have been my first point because it was the loudest, most constant theme of the entire vlog. The thing AJ Dybantsa did most in this vlog was TikTok dances. So he decided to vlog himself on YouTube making three separate different TikTok dances in the BYU facility. Like it would be like, okay, now we're gonna go to the practice gym, quick TikTok dance. Okay, now I'm gonna show you the kitchen, but quick TikTok dance in the hallway first. Let's go up and meet the coaching staff. But let me quick, I'm gonna put the phone up and do my little dancey dance. Gen Z Michael Jordan at it again. That is genuinely the thing he did most in this vlog is TikTok dances more than even the fake go to class thing or anything else. Your thoughts on that element of this?
That means he passed his first financial support class. That's what we call dual incomes. So you know he just doubled up the amount of money he was going to make on that TikTok dance by you know doing it within the vlog too.
I guess that's true. There's one thing you can't take away from AJ. His commitment to the bit is phenomenal. Like this kid is truly I'm even too old for this, but weren't there like TikTok houses? Like they
Mhm.
would just take influencers and basically throw them in a house, and all day their job was to just make content in whatever form it is. I think that's what AJ's doing right now.
I think seriously, like AJ doesn't. It's not a shot at pro by any means. BYU fans, like don't take this personally. AJ doesn't want to play college basketball. And so he's trying to find ways to make it entertaining for himself. And that's why he's treating it like a TikTok house, where it's just like, how can I have fun still? Because like I don't want to do this. I'm watching Cooper Flag get drafted in a month. That's what I want to do. And instead I have to find ways to find this entertaining and make it fun for myself. And for what it's worth, BYU fans, he's doing it, I think. And I think that should be a great sign for the season at that, and you should be incredibly happy with it. But I don't think Ant Edwards wanted to be at Georgia. I don't think Ben Simmons wanted to be at LSU. I don't think those are shots at LSU or Georgia. I just don't think those players wanted to play college basketball. And I think AJ Dybantsa is clearly in that boat. Um, that's why we didn't get a tour of the campus. We got a tour of the basketball court. We didn't even really get a tour of the facility. We saw a court, and he's like, "Yo, this is the facility. We got a 4 point line."
His worldview is just so content creation focused, which is it's a fascinating pairing with the athlete that he is. Because normally the guys that do this are like walk on end of bench guys who need to make their career content creation. And again, maybe this is just what a supreme superstar looks like in the 2020s. Like, I don't know. This is 30 years after Michael Jordan was supreme competitor. AJ is supreme content creator. And I think every moment he has on the court this year, he's going to view as a moment for content. I think like even back to his AAU days, right? He went viral for his shit talking moments. Like he's mic'd up as much as he did his basketball playing moments. And it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fast. And clearly BYU is encouraging this, which is probably part of why he's at BYU, to be honest. So it makes for a fascinating thing because as long right now, this all works because the games haven't started.
No.
As long as BYU is good, this works forever. But if BYU goes from preseason top five team to like underachieving at any point, and he's still trying to do 10-minute vlogs with him dancing in the hallways, I think everyone's going to be like, dog, what are we doing? You know?
I think, and this might wind up being way wrong, vlogs are the new podcast for this next generation. And podcasts were the new, like, hey, I'm going to go to Hollywood and be a director, producer, actor, so on and so forth. Like, I think we've seen every generation of great player have outlets beyond the sport. Michael Jordan made Space Jam. Bron is like somehow one of the biggest producers in Hollywood. It bothers me because him and I are ops, even though he doesn't know it. Steph has like 17 ABC shows that like nobody watches, and they just keep greenlighting them. And they're like, "Oh, we're gonna play mini golf today," and I'm like, "Sick, Steph's busy again, not in a gym." Draymond Green has a podcast. Paul George has a podcast. Nikola Jokic like rides horses, and AJ Dybantsa makes vlogs. Luka Doncic drinks beers. Like everybody,
And
everybody has
buys new t-shirts that look like he lost 20 pounds. Yeah.
yeah. Even though they're just two sizes too big. Love it though, Luca. I'm in the running for another new t-shirt too. But everybody has outlets, and I just think 12-minute vlogs might be this next generation of players' upcoming outlet.
I think you're dead on. And this is why I love BYU and AJ Dybantsa. Go watch his vlog. It's incredible. At the time of recording this, I think we still have more YouTube subscribers than AJ Dybantsa, which is absolutely absurd.